right, good morning, good morning, good morning.
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 The city of Des Moines in the house. Wait, no, people in the house? All right. So I can say whatever I want today. All right, awesome. Well, first of all, welcome to the Iowa Parks and Recreation Association Conference 2019. So my job as a kickoff speaker is to get you pumped for the rest of the day. Now the problem is they only gave me 15 minutes to do that. So I don't know how I can do that, but my wife told me this morning, you can do it. And I believe it. But then she was like, but you know you're long-winded and you like to over-explain stuff like that. Maybe you should have just kept it with the you can do it. So, now as she mentioned, I am the director of the Des Moines Civil and Human Rights Department. And you're probably like, what in the heck does civil and human rights have to do with parks and recreation? Now, first of all, let me say, anything that I do, I also put a personal note into it. So I have a very, very rich history with parks. Not as a kid, but as a teenager and a young college student. What do I mean by that? Anybody that knows R&B music knows that R&B music is about love. So I always use parks as a way to express myself. So what do I mean? First I can start with John Legend. He had a song that said, let's go to the park. I wanna kiss you underneath the stars. If y'all know John Legend, there's also Jill Scott, who said, let's take a long walk around the park after dark and maybe a conversation, something. I don't know the rest of it. I like male singers. So, but when I really think about parks, I really gotta go to one of the kings of R&B. That's this gentleman right here, Luther Vandross. And he said, excuse me, miss, what's your name? Where are you from? And can I come? And possibly, and can I take you out tonight? And to the movies, to the park, I'll have you home before we start. Well, and I did not pursue a career in music. All right. So, when we talk about what the theme of this conference is, and that's my first question when you asked me, I said, what's the theme? Because anything I do, once again, I have to give a piece of myself. So she said the theme was to engage, to invest, and achieve. That's the theme of this conference. And those are some very powerful words. So let's talk about what those words mean as you go throughout this 3-day event. So, engage is to reach out and give a voice. That means you're going out beyond yourself into the community, engaging members of the community in what they want their community to look like. But when you invest in them, you also dedicate resources, develop programs, develop parks based on that community voice. And then achieve is to carry out successfully, to accomplish. But you can't achieve anything if you aren't engaging and you aren't investing. And that's what today is about, teaching you how to engage and how to invest so that we can achieve together the community that we desire. Because what is a community? A community is a group, is an interconnected group that develops mutually beneficial relationships with one another and comes together to act effectively on their collective well-being. And parks is about building community. And community, all it is common unity. Now, what's common unity regarding state and government employees? I don't know if any federal employees in there. So, a plan, what is that common unity? The common unity is a community where we can all grow, prosper, and thrive. That's what common unity is about. As I always say, most decent human beings, emphasis on decent, want a good life for themselves and even better life for their children. And parks provide that. They provide the recreation and the relaxation amongst a stressful day. And that's why all R&B, especially being black, is very stressful. So we gotta go to the park and relax and get some relaxation, conversation, long walks, So when I was in college, I was always at the park. Everyone go to the park. Oh, I never been to this park before. Yeah, you know, it's so, common unity. Thank you, parks. I wouldn't be married without parks. Hey, but the plan, as you decide to engage, invest, and achieve. I know a lot of you may have master plans, have parks plans, park plans for your individual park. But a plan is only as good as those willing to invest in it and execute it. How many of y'all have developed plans over the years, and then once you got the plan done, you'll never look at it again? Show of hands. I see some of you like, yeah. We gotta stop doing that, because the thing that we want to do is we want to invest in our communities. So it's great to have a plan, but are you willing to put the work in to execute it, to create the community that we envision? Because you can't invest in city and neighborhoods and also not invest in the people. The people is what it's really about. At the end of the day, when there's a crisis and a building's on fire, the fire department does not show up to save the building. They show up to save the people inside the building. They put out the fire to make sure that the community doesn't get, that the rest of the community is not damaged by that fire. And so when we create parks, we don't create it, walk out and just look out, oh, it's so beautiful, and I'm the only one here. We need to make sure that we are investing in the people. And parks are, this clicker does not like me. All right. Parks are a part of that investment. Parks add to your property value. Parks add to the beautification, the aesthetics of a community. And what we have to do is make sure that we are investing and listening and engaging in the people that live in our neighborhoods. There's a song called "Who Are the People in Your Neighborhood? In Your Neighborhood." You remember that song? That was Schoolhouse Rock. I don't remember that. All right, showing my age. All right, but there's somebody, I remember that song. Yes, I'm the person. Yeah, that's how it's done. Keep going. All right. So parks are a part of that investment. So when we engage in the community and we try to create a community where we all desire, parks has to be a part of that. But parks has to be a part of that for everyone, not just some, but everyone. Because when you don't invest in a community, there's a cycle that goes on, just in case you don't know that cycle. When there is no investment in communities, people leave. And when people leave, the government has to spend more money to attract other individuals. We want to attract millennials, we want to attract this group, etc. And when you're not investing in the neighborhood, businesses leave and locate to where the talent pool is. And when businesses leave, cities lose revenues, which impact schools and neighborhoods. And if schools and neighborhoods lose funding, residents can't get jobs or get educated. And the cycle continues. Parks is a part of that investment. If you want to see a property value go up, put in a park that represents that community. If you want to see a community improve, make sure that you're actually engaging in the people that live in that community and what kind of community they'd like to see. And I promise you, nobody ever really said, hey, we need to cut down more trees. Now, businesses may say that, but not individuals. They want their community to look beautiful. They want their community to add to it. So they want nature, and they want things that add to the beautification of the community. So what we're really looking for is equity. Now, equality is about treating everybody the same. Now, here's my analogy for my sports people in here. All right. So you understand equity. Everybody's probably seen this before. Like, I've not seen it. So I'm going to give another analogy. Now, at the end of the NFL season, what happens to the worst team? Say, I heard it. Somebody already said it. First pick of the draft. Why did they get the first pick of the draft? Worst. But what's the purpose of allowing the team that did the worst to get the first pick? So they can get better. And why do we want them to get better? It's better for the league. Exactly. It's better for the league that everyone has the opportunity to improve and grow. That's why when the worst team at the end of the day, they get the first round pick. Now, of course, sometimes you may pick a dud. Who's the last dud? I don't know. I won't quit watching sports a few years back. But But you may get a deb, but you get the first pick because we know that if this person, or if this league, if this team is able to select someone that allows them to be better, it makes the league better as a whole. And so that's why I want you to think about park or our green space deserts as you move forward in your career in parks. Making sure that all persons have a park within 10 to 15 minutes of their home. 10-minute walk, not a drive, 10-minute walk. We have a lot of deserts in certain places. If you move to the east side of Des Moines, there are less parks. What can we do to actually address that? Now, all right. Now, my office, we did something called Bridging the Gap, where we went into the community and we talked with communities about where they like, how they like to see their community move forward. Now, one of the things we did was we did small community dialogues. Anybody ever put together a town hall and only 5 people show up? It's the same 5 people always show up. I gotta see y'all smile. Yeah. That always happens because we have to make it personal. If you want to see your community and people get involved, you have to make it personal. And we have to go to where people are and stop expecting people to come to us. And that's something that we did over the past year. And we were able to engage around 900 people in how do we improve community relationships, government community relationships. But it really starts where people are. Go to where people are. That's how you engage. And when you get there, invest in them. Make sure that you're listening to what they have to say. You take it to heart, you take notes, and then you do something based upon that. Because some of you, as you put together your master plan, some of you work in parks for 20, 25, maybe 30 years, and you've done 2 or 3 master plans. And you go out and speak to the community every time, and a lot of the information is the same. But have we taken the steps to actually do what they asked us to do? Because when you fail to engage, although we aren't doing things like this anymore, where we're saying this group stay out, but are we doing this? And once again, what is this? It's a rimless basketball goal. And anything I do, once again, I have to make it personal. When I was growing up in Sumter, South Carolina, the whole city decided to take all rims off basketball goals around the community. It's a city of 50,000 people. They went through every park and took all the rims off basketball goals. What do you think that message really was? That's what it was. Keep out. And they transformed some basketball goals, or basketball courts, into tennis courts in neighborhoods where people don't play tennis. Now great, that worked out well for Serena and Venus. But I'm not Serena, I'm not Venus. And when I put on the TV, the song was, sometimes I dream that he gives me, like Gatorade. But when you do this, and you take those rims off basketball, are you really engaging in community? If you have a problem in one neighborhood, instead of talking and saying, what can we do to address these concerns, you take rims off basketball. And you drive through my city today, you can still see some places where they have a basketball court, no rims. And this is not native just to my community. When I told this story originally in Des Moines, they said, oh yeah, we had to do the same thing in the community because people were concerned about noise and they took away the basketball goals. But are we really engaging in community when we do that? Because if we're not willing to put the work in to make sure we're reaching out and giving people a voice and making sure that we're dedicating resources, then what are we really trying to accomplish or achieve or carry out? Because you can't carry out anything by yourself. There's a saying that says, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's what this conference is about, achieving something together. And Parks has the ability to do that, to add to the health, alleviate stress, and it's also good for the environment. And so I applaud each of you in your works in Parks. But as you go out and you live by these words, engage, invest, achieve, don't forget the least of these, and don't forget to achieve, you have to reach out to everyone. Thank you.